G'day everybody, welcome back to our playthrough of Starfield. We are in Jemison, subsection 7, which is the place that they're keeping Ve Victus locked up in secret. And yeah, we have had quite a lot of revelations in the last couple of episodes about the Terramorphs, and the whole fact that he is indeed the one involved in planning the attacks using those Terramorphs and the Lazarus plant and the Lazarus spores. I don't trust him, so I'm going to opt to report back to the council about what he's done. He did do it for Hadrian, and I guess what he claims to be, you know, his name's legacy, so to speak. So, you know, you can't blame him that much, although he did, you know, sacrifice innocent people in doing so. He did sort of offer to give us more missions and more work after, you know, I guess, well, his assumption is being released by the UC. But yeah, in exchange, he wanted us to sort of not tell the truth. He wanted us to throw that Dr. Olay or Orlays under the bus, who was already dead, obviously. So, anyway, we've got to report back to Hadrian and see what happens next.
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Aceles are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against Terramorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant?
Yeah, okay, so we do still have the option to throw Dr. Olays under the bus here and help out Ve Victus if we really wanted to. No, but I am going to go for the first option here. Ve Victus confessed he organized the attacks from his cell.
I knew it. The second I heard that recording, I knew. Why? Did he say why he did it?
He said he was trying to fix the damage done to the Sinon name, make you and him into heroes.
It takes some deeply twisted logic to think anything did more harm to the Sinon name than him. Well, once we inform the cabinet, they can ensure he won't be able to do anything like this ever again.
What do you think the cabinet will do to him?
My hope would be that whatever connections he's got to the outside world disappear. Make sure his future schemes and machinations stay in his cell with him. But honestly, I'm not sure. He's in a unique position, and has done a special kind of harm to the colonies.
He asked we leave him out of the story of the attacks, says to consider the lives he helped save.
I'm sure he did. But he killed dozens of people, and I'm not about to let him get away with something like that. So I guess that gives us our final answer. Nothing left to do but head in and see what the cabinet thinks of it all. Unless there was more to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the Terramorphs.
What do you think the cabinet will do when they learn about Ve Victus's involvement in the attacks?
It's hard to know. Unlike my father, the cabinet aren't butchers. But killing UC citizens, along with everything else he's done, is unforgivable. But if you're really that concerned, you could request they be lenient. They might be willing to spare him.
So both approaches to clearing our worlds are effective against the heat leeches.
They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
And the Aseles seem like they're even better at tracking leeches than morphs.
Hell of a sight to watch, though, when they catch them. Like an open airlock guzzling angry spaghetti.
What kind of risks are there if we decide to bring back the Aseles?
Aseles aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Aseles, we're at least dealing with known risks.
Which method of dealing with the terramorphs are you two leaning towards?
Microbe is going to make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in, see if they have a preference.
Yeah, okay, and the cabinet's probably going to defer that decision to us. And I don't know, guys, I'm probably more inclined to go with the Aseles. If anything, we would have more livestock for making, foods and all that sort of stuff for the UC, rather than dealing with an unknown microbe that could mutate. Nothing else on my end, let's head there.
Then here we go.
Okay, and we are about to address the cabinet. I think I called them the council before, but anyway, same. A bunch of people who are making the decisions for a whole bunch of UC citizens. Alright, these guys were just like waiting for us as we chatted in there. Okay, folks.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
Is that second report from who I think it's from?
This report comes from a particularly confidential source both you and I are familiar with, yes. Among the reasons its findings are so alarming. Now, is it true? Was the attack on New Atlantis planned?
That's correct, ma'am. It was a deliberate attack.
My God.
An attack? Using terramorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlays commit these attacks, Captain?
Orlays?
That report isn't the whole truth. Orlays helped, but Ve Victus organized the attacks.
It's true, ma'am. I heard the recording myself. My father figured out how to use terramorphs as weapons.
He did what?
That's impossible. He doesn't have the kind of access to...
Clearly, he made his own access, Chief Sarkin. Madam President, I have been saying for years that not dealing with that man was gonna end in tragedy.
Enough! I hope everyone here understands that what has just been shared is a state secret of the highest order. This information does not leave this room. Now, that's quite the accusation you're leveling, considering Francois Sinon has not left containment for the better part of 2 decades. You have evidence to back this up?
Let's play the emergency recorder snippet.
It just transformed a terramorph out of thin air. An invisible weapon. No planet would be safe.
Heavens help us. Is that actually him?
I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Francois.
He knew they could do this, and said nothing.
He's a sociopath. Plain and simple, ma'am.
Officer, please collect that recording.
Yes, ma'am. Begging your pardon, Captain.
We'll, of course, be launching a full investigation into how this could have happened. Though I have little doubt the Admiral will be quick to share all he knows on the subject once confronted with that recording. Chief Yassine, can you send one of your interrogators to have a little chat with the Admiral?
I'll issue the order immediately.
Good. Combined with everything else you all have uncovered. Well, I don't think the United Colonies can thank you enough. We failed the people of the colonies by not dealing with Vevictus sooner. I intend to rectify that mistake immediately.
What's going to happen to him?
That will be up to the cabinet to decide. But I don't appreciate our mercy being taken advantage of.
Can you ensure he has no more outside contacts? He used UC functionaries to get his messages out.
That's truly disconcerting to hear. But cutting off Vevictus's contact with the outside world is likely to be just the beginning of his punishment.
So, I am sort of thinking of asking for leniency, because yes, he did help us. So I think that should count for something, at the very least. And it is true that by us discovering the origins of the Terramorph, we are basically saving millions as a result. Ma'am, I would request his life be spared. He did help us against the Terramorphs after all.
I'm not sure I see why someone with UC blood on their hands would merit leniency. But I will note your request when the decision is made. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the 3 of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
What sort of measures will the UC be taking to protect the Lazarus plant?
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping out trespassers relatively easy. But we'll ensure its growth is contained, that access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances, and that our troop presence on Londinian is increased.
Ma'am, I believe the other factions should be involved in securing the Lazarus plant as well.
Tell the Freestar Collective. Wow. So they have another tool to utilize against us?
I'm in agreement. I fail to see the value here.
It demonstrates to the collective that the UC isn't planning to secretly use this down the line.
That is an interesting idea. A grand gesture to further display this cabinet doesn't think like those of the past.
The observers on Mars have proven such a gesture can bear fruit.
So, you want us to make nice with the collective by sharing our state secrets?
No, I want us to display plainly the UC's actual intentions, that the plant will never be used as a weapon again.
That does sound worthwhile, Chief Kulkarni. Very well. We'll get the collective involved in the management. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
Called it. Alright, so... Can we still ask some questions?
Please, ask.
Will the other factions be involved in the cleanup efforts as well?
This won't work without them.
Exactly right, ma'am. The Interstellar Affairs Office has already begun reaching out to worlds throughout the settled systems, informing them of the risks we're all facing, and that the UC has a plan to prevent what happened on New Atlantis from happening elsewhere. Thus far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. The spirit of mutual cooperation displayed between the UC and the Freestar Collective in managing the Terramorph data set a good tone for the work we're doing, Captain. We expect we'll hit some resistance, but our office has plenty of carrots and sticks to ensure the program's widespread success.
Who exactly is doing all this work, deploying whichever method we choose?
The responsibilities will be spread across multiple branches of the UC. Research and day-to-day administration will be handled by a new group under the Science Division. All diplomatic concerns and coordination will fall to Chief Yassine and Interstellar Affairs. But most of the actual on-the-ground work, that'll be handled by the Vanguard.
What are the chances, really, that this microbe could cause problems to humans and other species?
Infinitesimally low.
But not zero.
The chance of a starship landing on you as you sit here isn't zero, yet you still attended. Personally, my fear isn't mutation, but Terramorphs developing a resistance. But that's something our group can continue to address if we decide to take this approach. As I believe we should.
Alright, I don't have any other questions.
Very well. Then did you have a preference on the method we should deploy?
I think deploying the Aseles is the safest route, so that's my vote.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day 1 for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you 3 the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
What's a Class 1 citizen?
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive.
Penthouse. Nice. Alright, well, cheers, President, Madam President.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sanan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
And as a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you, Captain, will have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
Brilliant. There we go. So that is the Terramorph problem sorted, I guess. Now we probably need to have a chat with...
Captain, I guess we've got our assignments. I just wanted to say, I could have never guessed where all this was going to lead. But now, knowing what I do, that my father truly is the monster I always thought he was. Well, I've just spent a lot of my life in pursuit of the truth. So, you bringing it straight to me, it just means a lot.
I was going to say that we probably still need to have a chat with Commander Tuala and, you know, collect our Class 1 status and maybe our penthouse and all that sort of stuff from him as well. Don't mention it. We're friends. Friends look after each other.
The best ones certainly do. You know, I was thinking, while we were there on the podium, if I wanted to try and see him again. After all, it could be my last chance. But I knew the answer before I even finished the thought. I didn't. Because confronting him, what would I gain from that? From letting him remind me I can never truly be rid of him? Nothing. Now, all I'd be doing is acknowledging that he still has some sway over my life. And while I can't do anything about his role in my past, I'm not about to let him control my future. And thanks to what we've done together, that future is brighter than it has been in a long time. Words can't do justice to how grateful I am for that.
So, can we get her to actually join our crew? Yeah, let's keep going. Come with me.
You know I can't do that. I've got an assignment. But I wouldn't be upset if you came by the HQ every now and then. Remind me how much I owe you.
Just glad I was able to help.
Well, I think it's safe to say you succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. It's been an honor, Captain. Good luck out there.
Okay, that was a very weird salute, but okay. Right, so let's just take a look at what we need to do from here. So... yes, this is the Ashta issue that we sort of bumped into in Aquila City the other day. Operation Starseed, we're still working on collecting all of the copper for that. Oh, here. Speak to Commander Tuala. Well, we may as well right away, because we're already here. And it's just following through, you know, on the last little bits of this Vanguard storyline. Yeah, this is the Vanguard storyline, isn't it? Which just so happens to sort of skim across the Vigilance and Pirate quest lines as well. Anyway. It's actually been a very long time since we've had a chat with Commander Tuala. So, he should be pretty impressed.
Informed us of your new status. Congratulations on making Class 1.
Oh, cool. I wasn't expecting that response, but...
Captain, can I help you?
What is it you do here?
I'm one of MAST's resource officers. It's my job to ensure those here on official business get where they're going promptly, and that any rule breaking is dealt with swiftly.
Okay, okay.
Take care now.
Commander?
Well, well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain.
Okay, so I guess it must be very, very difficult to become like a Class 1 citizen or Class A or whatever. Can you tell me about what a Class 1 citizen is?
It's a high honor. Have to do something big for the colonies to earn that sort of designation. Only ever met a couple myself, and certainly never given one orders. You should be real proud.
Thank you, Commander. Well, it's an honor.
No need to thank me. You brought this on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
Okay, 12,000 for all of that. Not bad. We've been to the Realty office before, so... rather drink engine oil than live in New Atlantis. I don't know, New Atlantis is quite nice. Glad to see the UC give credit where credit's due.
Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terramorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
Yeah, I'd like to start by helping out Percival with these new alien threats.
Sure, he'll have all the specifics. If you find yourself looking for more work, you know where to find me.
Okay, cool, so we can do more work from Commander Tuala. I'm thinking that, you know, we've ended up sort of in the same position regardless of which outcome we decided whether or not Ve Victus was going to be released or not, because then Ve Victus would be the one giving us, you know, quests to do as well. Let's actually check out this apartment building first. So... oh, where's the Where's the realty place? I forget. We might actually have to find that place. So I do want to have a chat with Percival, but we probably don't need to do that right away. I am interested in having another chat with Kelton, seeing how he's going and perhaps maybe attending to additional requests. But yeah, I need to find that realty office. I know I saw it many episodes ago. I just can't remember where it is.
Oh, I was hoping we might run into one another again. Your timing is most fortuitous. I'm on the verge of something, but I don't quite have all the information I need.
You never seem to have all the information you need.
We're in uncharted territory here. It's inevitable. Of course, now that I understand more about what's going on, it seems plain as day. And yet I never would have imagined it before. The tertiary trunks have also liquefied their interiors, but they're not vibrating. I thought perhaps it was some sort of defect, but it's much simpler. They're listening.
How do you know that's what's going on here?
I don't. Not for sure. It's all a theory, certainly, but it is completely supported by the data and observation, like all good science. It's the best we have to go on right now.
I don't understand what that means.
It means it is ready to reproduce. I believe this tree is sending vibrations out over massive distances and expecting to detect sympathetic vibrations in return. As of yet, there's been no response. I suspect that will not change, that a response is impossible, and that's very, very bad news.
Define bad news.
We're continuing to see an increase in the strength and frequency of the vibrations. I don't know how much more significant it'll become. If there's no response, the tree may vibrate itself and some nearby portion of the city to destruction. Now, as of yet, there has been no response, and clearly none of the nearby individuals are a correct match. While it can't be ruled out that the intended recipient of these messages was cut down during the city's expansion, there is one other possibility. Over 100 years ago, the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective emerged from the Narian War. As a gesture of peace and goodwill, a near-literal olive branch, one of the trees from New Atlantis, was offered to the leaders of Aquila City.
That seems like a nice gesture.
Nice? Short-sighted and ill-advised, in my opinion. Of course, you can't just uproot a native species and plunk it down on some other planet in a totally different environment and expect it to grow. Clearly, no exobotanists were consulted ahead of time. The end result was wholly predictable. The tree died within a few short years.
I don't understand how any of this is helpful.
I'm sorry, I'll get to the point. The tree died, yes, but branches were kept. At least one still exists in the museum there in the city. If I had that branch, I could get DNA samples, and then using various data I've gathered, I could attempt to simulate a response. We could then broadcast that response and hopefully calm down our friend here. But as I say, I need that branch.
And we've finally arrived at the point.
I'm afraid I can't be two places at once, and I have too much going on here. The museum in Aquila City is under the supervision of one Miss Kassler, I'm told. I don't know anything about her, but hopefully she'll be willing to listen to reason and assist our cause. All right, off you go. We don't have any time to waste.
Okay, alright. Well, we need to retrieve a dead tree branch. The same type of tree as this one. I have no idea what type of tree this is called even, but anyway, we do need to head to Aquila City for that one. And that's fine, but let's keep that in the back pocket for a second here. Yes, we need to have a chat with Percival, but I'm really interested in checking out our penthouse. So let's try and find the realty place and go from there. Oh, this might be it. Ah, yes, Aphelion Realty.
Well, well, if it isn't the United Colony's newest Class 1 citizen, you've made... In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service by giving you one of the nicest pieces of real estate in the city. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. Best location in New Atlantis, in my professional opinion.
What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you registered as the owner.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm interested.
Great! You're in for a real treat. It's one of my favorite apartments in the city. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located in Mercury Tower in the residential district. You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable view of the city. Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
Sweet, and now we've got a new activity. Visit your new penthouse in New Atlantis. So let's actually do that. Yeah, so it was one of the apartment buildings that we've seen before, but we've never really interacted with. Let's get there. Apparently we've got to take the tram. Is it a tram? I forget what it is. The transit car. Okay. And you know what? We might actually use the opportunity to sleep here as well. Maybe we can sleep like a good 8 hours or something, and then see if we can go out and buy some more copper. Again, I'm not entirely sure how quick the stocks replenish at a lot of the stores, but I can always just give it a try here. So, Mercury Penthouse key. Very nice. Very swanky. Yeah, this is much better than the apartment that we have in the well, that's for sure. I assume we still have the apartment in the well as well, but I mean, this is so much nicer. What is this? Is this just... Okay, this is just like a small study almost. And got a nice kitchen there. Electric stovetop. Not a big fan. I prefer gas myself. There's no bathtub in here. Oh man. Where's the complaint form? Alright, you know, the best living space that I've seen so far though is the one that we visit, the one that belongs to our ex-pirate friend in Constellation. Vlad, I think, is his name. Was it Vlad? But yeah, he definitely had a very, very nice home. So, hang on, this is another bathroom. So this place has a couple of bathrooms. So this is obviously some kind of a living area. Laundry, storage. Very nice. I mean, definitely very empty, isn't it? We would have to sort of fill it with a whole bunch of stuff to make it feel like we're actually living here. This is probably the master bedroom. And yeah, so 2 bathrooms. I don't know how I feel about having 2 bathrooms for the amount of space that we have. Another little nook. Nice view though from the balcony. Pretty decent. And we are pretty high up as well. What is that place? Let me just have a look at the surface map. Yeah, it says unknown there. There's a few other sites here as well, which might be worth visiting. I feel like we should actually go out and explore. We've known about, obviously, New Atlantis for a very long time, but as for exploring Jemison, we haven't exactly done that. Okay, we've got a couple of balconies going on. Right, so I think what we can do is... Can I actually decorate here? So... Yeah, I can. Alright, furniture. I want a bed. Okay, we can get sleeping bags. Ah, yes, beds. Here we go. So... Let's see. We obviously want a nice bed for this space. What makes sense here? I don't know. The space is a little bit weird, isn't it? I think this is probably the best bed. Oh, this modern looking one isn't too bad. Yeah, maybe we'll get this one. Chuck that there. Okay, so at the very least we can sleep here. So I'm gonna go and sleep for 8 hours, and as I said, we'll check with Jemison Mercantile, see if they have any more copper, and we can buy a little bit more. We could even go to, you know, Aquila City, maybe even Gagarin again. Try and find some more copper that way. Awaken feeling well rested, very good. Let's get out there. So I think maybe what I'll do is I'll just teleport myself to the front of the lodge, maybe? Yep, and from here, I'm actually going to... actually, I was thinking of going to that point of interest, but I should be going to Jemison Mercantile first. Are we even in the right spot?
Hi, how you doing?
Mast, lodge. I don't think we are. Residential, commercial, New Atlantis, that's what I want. I feel like a lot of the icons for the different districts, they sort of move around quite a bit. Again, another thing that the game seems to have a mind of its own on, but you can't exactly control what you want to do. What's going on over this side? I guess it's just another landing bay.
Hope you're finding everything. Oh, please, take a look.
Right. Tell me you've got some copper. Nope, they don't have any copper. God damn.
Appreciate the business.
Well, that's okay. Next up, I think we'll try and head to... I think... was it that? Or was it a different position? I feel like it was potentially a different position altogether. Alright. So I've put a marker down, and I'm sort of hoping that we could just go in that direction and see what we can find. Hoping for some of the points of interest in New Atlantis to be a little bit more interesting than just, you know, pirate hideouts and stuff, you know? What are we doing for weight? 190. Yeah, we shouldn't really be having too much trouble. There is a science outpost on the other side of the planet, which we could go and visit. Okay, so we are the furthest away we've been from New Atlantis on foot at this point. On Jemison, that is. Plenty of things to try and scan if we really wanted to get into that, but probably won't worry. I'll scan stuff as we pass the things, but I don't think I'm gonna actively look for things to scan though. Right, we've got some kind of a relay station or something like that there. Maybe some kind of radio tower. And that's the other location. There's another spot down there. And then there's a couple more locations up that way as well. Apex Parrot Hawk. I wonder if we can actually build an outpost on Jemison. We probably can. Don't know if you would really want to. Yeah, we've gotten to a radio tower. Doesn't look like there's anything here though. Be something interesting in this structure. I wonder if we would ever come across Terramorph, like, transforming literally from their heat leech state. Yeah, I haven't really been killing a lot of the heat leeches if they're docile, but now that we know what they are. I mean, I'll take your creds. Is there anything else here? Seems very disappointing. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not entirely sure if I really want to visit these places after all, guys, because I don't really see any reason to, if they're just run-of-the-mill locations that don't really offer up too much. What I do want to go to, though, was that interesting-looking point of interest from our balcony that we could see. So, trouble is finding our way back to our apartment. Ah yes, here. Mercury Tower. So it should be easy enough. I wonder if we could, like, buy a property in Apollo Towers as well. Speaking of buying property, we, as I mentioned, only just recently, we also have our home that we've already sort of paid for in full to Galbank. I think it's that we were looking for at the other day, right? But yeah, I was sort of thinking we might want to go back to our home. But I can't remember where it is exactly. So, now that I know where it is roughly, and yeah, interestingly, it comes up when we're looking at the ground map when I open up the map from here, but when I'm on the ground level, it doesn't actually show, which is very strange. Now, for science, I'm gonna see if I can jump down from here and use our boost pack to break the fall. Why not? theoretically, it should work, right? There we go. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably nothing really important, but you never know. A fractured limb. Okay. Goodness me. Oh, okay, we can jump up on the tree. Was not expecting that. So some of the textures on the tree look a little bit weird, like the trunk is just appearing out of nowhere on this side. I'm not entirely sure Bethesda's banking on a lot of people sort of making it out to this side of New Atlantis. But I mean, they've got some kind of a point of interest going on this way, so you would think that they'd be designing the place a little bit more, making it look a little bit nicer and less janky. I do wish the city was a little bit bigger as well. New Atlantis, it has an illusion of being like a very grand city, but it's not really that big. Aquila City as well. Aquila actually feels even worse. I know it's supposed to house like, you know, heaps of people, but it doesn't feel that big at all. Come to think of it, I think the only other game that I could think of that sort of does a decent job at pretending like you're on something of a very, very grand scale is Mass Effect. They've got like the Citadel of the Mass Effect series, and you know, that thing is supposed to be like a massive city within a space station, and you know, some of the illustrations both in-game and you know, in loading screens and artwork, you know, it makes it seem like a really, really massive city. And it feels like it, although, you know, you're only traveling to certain sections. Most of the other parts of the city are sort of inaccessible to you. Which is okay, you know, it sort of helps preserve the notion and idea that it is a much larger city, but you can't really explore the entirety of it. I suppose maybe logistically and technically it'd be pretty impossible to design a game that has like, you know, a super massive city just in one location and then a whole bunch of other locations to go with it, if you know what I'm saying. So, you know, ideally the city should be the size of like Liberty City or something like that in Cyberpunk. You know, that makes sense. But then you would also need to insert within the game like other locations on other planets. Okay, a lot of wildlife here. Could spend a lot of time maybe scanning all of it, but I'll just leave them. They all seem to be having a bit of a fight over some territory or whatever. Okay, so we're almost here. This is definitely something a little bit more interesting, isn't it? I haven't really seen something like this aside from maybe a similar location in a killer city. Some people are about to land over here. I don't know if there's actually anything worthwhile to look at. So it does say that it's an autonomous farm, so I'm not entirely sure if we're actually going to see people in the area. Locked door there. I'll take their meds. I don't know if I really want to bother trying to get stuff from the safes and whatnot. Seems like a lot of effort for not too much gain. Okay, who are these people? They're shooting at a lot of the fauna. Ah, ecliptic. Of course. Well. Our lovely friends. And they're gone. Alright, didn't realize that there was an autonomous farm here in New Atlantis. Can we say that this is still part of New Atlantis, or is it a little bit too far for that? I mean, it does make sense though. I mean, they're probably going to need to get their food from somewhere, and if they kept having to import food, then that'd be quite expensive. So it makes sense for them to grow food themselves. Right, I think we're done here. And maybe when we come back, the first thing that I really want to do is check out what this science outpost is all about in New Atlantis. And then from there, we'll also look at, I think, circling back to this, the key ingredient. And we'll try and work our way through the Ryujin Industries quest line. We do have additional proof to actually hand into Lieutenant Toft as well to the Vigilance, so that might actually not be a bad idea to do sometime soon as well. But yeah, for now, I think this is where we'll sign out. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Bit of a slow one towards the end, but I'm glad that we've managed to resolve the whole Terramorph issue, and we've got a solution with the Aciles going to be sort of deployed in various worlds to, I guess, eat them to death. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.